Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Now today we are featuring Lycanroc Raichu. It is a deck that I have been talking about for a while. I hadn't featured yet, but it is finally time. This deck did make an appearance in Mexico City Regionals. Sam Chen, who won Seattle, used it there. And he was, I believe, 5-0 at one point, but then he choked the last 4 rounds and ended up 5-2 rather, so he missed top cut. He was like one of the highest 17 pointers, but he did miss top cut because of that. So, yeah, I'm not sure what list he used exactly. I'm not sure if he posted that yet, but this is the list that my friend Eric used at Seattle Regionals, where I believe he might have gone the same record, 5-2. Not exactly sure, but yeah, Lycanroc with its ability, it's essentially Lysander. Dangerous Rogue GX is a really good attack, dealing 50 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. We have reviewed Lycanroc before, but we haven't seen the pairing with Raichu just yet. Dangerous Rogue will pretty much always get a knockout simply because decks are just using so many bench Pokemon with Tapu Lele and all the stage 1 setting up and Orangurus and Shaymins and things like that. And then we have Claw Slash, which deals a very respectable amount of 110, but since we only have strong energy, it will always be dealing at least 130 damage, plus a Choice Band, we have 160 damage right there, plus a potential Kukui, and then we get a knockout on a lot of 180 HP Pokemon. Then we have Raichu as the other main attacker, or as the main attacker of the deck. Circle Circuit deals 20 damage times the number of your benched Pokemon. We pair this with Skyfield and a decent, healthy amount of Tapu Lele's and Shaymins and all of that in order to deal a lot of damage. And along with Choice Band and Professor Kukui, Raichu can deal up to 210 damage, which seems to be a pretty good number to hit. One Sudowoodo for the mirror matches or for Mega Rayquaza, although you should beat Mega Rayquaza super easily anyways. 2 Tapu Lele's, 3 Shaymins and 1 Oranguru for support. Then we have 4 Strong and 4 DCE as our energy cards, and then we have 3 Sycamore, 2 N, 1 Lysander, 1 Bridget, 1 Kukui and 1 Teammates. Because we do have the heavy counts of Shaymin and Tapu Lele and Oranguru, we don't need that many supporters to set up, because we will be running through our deck pretty quickly. We have 2 special charges because all we're running is special energy. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Verse Seekers, 4 Skyfield of course to increase our bench up to 8 Pokemon, 3 Choice Band and 3 Float Stone in order to prevent from something like Oranguru or Lycanroc getting trapped in the active spot. 2 Rescue Stretcher rather to recover discarded Pokemon, and 1 Field Blower in order to remove things like Parallel City or potential Float Stones from Garbodor with Garbotoxin, which prevents us from using Lycanroc's ability. We only have 1 Lysander because of that, because we have access to Lycanroc-GX's ability. And let's jump into the ladder and see what we can do with this deck. Today is Lycanroc, tomorrow will be Darkrai, and I'm really hoping Friday we will get back on track with our TCG Pokédex series. I'm not exactly sure where we left off. I'll have to check that, but I will be bringing new and interesting decks to the series so that we can keep exploring and just have that little bit of relaxed fun. And then next week, as I announced on Monday's video and probably mentioned it yesterday, oh wow, I just dropped a little bit of water on my computer. Give me 1 second. Okay, so tonight, I'm not exactly sure at what time, but tonight, I'm sure I've posted it on Facebook, I will be streaming a conquest match against Mike Fouché. We will be using, so that we're preparing, or for our preparation for, wow, what a hand. For our international tournament preparation. We're going to be streaming, how do you say it? A conquest match where we each choose 5 decks, then we play a best of 9 until 5 wins, and whenever you win with a deck, you don't use it anymore. That's the whole gist of it. Okay, I don't know what I'm up against, but I need to get a Pikachu down right here, I think. Or at least an energy. I really don't like discarding the Rescue Stretcher at this point, so I'm gonna discard the Choice Band. But yeah, as I was mentioning, a conquest match will be streamed live, and then for those of you who don't miss it, we will each be using, I don't know which decks Mikey will be using, he doesn't know which decks I will be using, but we will be using top tier decks in order to get some really good practice in, and because of that, for those of you who miss it, it's going to be live streamed on YouTube and on Twitch, but I will be taking that whole series, hopefully those 9 matches, because it should be a close series, and I will be editing the video, and that will be next week's uploads. So, and then next week we'll have another live conquest match, and that will be the week after uploads for Monday through Thursday. However we end up splitting it, should be fun, and then on Fridays we will have TCG Pokédex series as per usual. Okay, so gonna have to, well, I already used one N, hopefully there's another. Nope. Oh man, what a hand. No energy, no Float Stone, no Skyfield. And I'm gonna discard a Rescue Stretcher and 2 Lycanrocs. Okay, so in an ideal world, I get to use my ability and hit the CGI, but I'm gonna need a ton of cards here. DC, Raichu, Float Stone, Skyfield, and I get a total of 0 cards. I get a total of 0 cards that I needed in order to produce that. So yeah, the deck just being super clunky right here. The deck being super clunky. And now, because I did bring the CGI up, my opponent could just simply Lysander up my Lycanroc and knock me out. For us to knock the CGI, he needs to bench either 3 more Pokemon or 2 more, and we need another strong energy. We see a Fighting Fury Belt, interestingly enough. We see another benched Pokemon. He must be taking Lycanroc-GX's attack into account. I wonder if he's going to place a damage counter, like a Feather Arrow on the active, and then hit me for 90, and then next turn he can Feather Arrow, force the knockout, and force me to promote something else. But yeah, we're not in a good position here. We're definitely not in a good position, and any Decidueye deck is probably a really bad matchup for Raichu decks. Now, he chooses not to do that, so he might end up wasting a little bit of damage. The only supporter we have is actually Professor Kukui, and we find a Float Stone, but we don't have any more energy, so we can't do anything else at all. And even after Oranguru gets knocked out, we can't do anything else afterwards anyways. Yeah, this is just really bad. Really bad. My opponent discards N and Delinquent, surprisingly enough. Grabs a Drampa. Now, if he benches a Drampa, which I assume he will, he does. We have a shot here at top decking the strong energy somehow, and then getting the knockout on the Decidueye. But it's not looking good, that's for sure. It's not looking good at all. We need to top deck either a strong energy or maybe a Skyfield. A Skyfield could maybe help us. Although we would only be using Shaymin for 2 cards, so maybe not so much. A Sycamore top deck would be horrendous. And wow, he's actually going to use Hollow-GX. Grabbing Field Blower, Dartrix, and via Seeker. And wow, we top deck the strong energy I was talking about. So that's pretty cool. This might actually be the card that lets us get back into the game. Dangerous Rogue GX, we're dealing 240 damage exactly, thanks to the strong energy. We get another Float Stone and a Lysander of our prize card, so we still can't do anything next turn. Our prizes did not help us at all. But at least we got one Decidueye off of the field. So not too shabby there. We do see a Dartrix, we'll probably see a Decidueye here. We see a Super Rod. We do see a Super Rod. We see a Field Blower, which removes our Float Stone. Probably going to see a Sycamore here by my opponent. We do see a DCE, so my opponent can two-shot my Lycanroc now. So I might just want to retreat, and he's actually going to choose to end us down to 4 cards. I don't mind that at all, simply because my hand was really bad. Really bad. We haven't seen a single DCE just yet. We do see one there, and we see a Sycamore, so... I mean, I have 2 choices here. I could Lysander, attach DCE, and knock out the Drampa. That is definitely an option here. And then I would just have to deal with Tapu Lele. I could also 110, 130, 150. Yeah, that Shaymin is in a lot of danger here. I mean, what's my other option though? I can't knock out this Tapu Lele without Skyfield, Choice Band, and my Field Blower. I generally think knocking out the Drampa is the right play here. Or I could even go after the Decidueye, but he still has 2 DCEs and he still has potential Float Stones or switches. My gut's telling me to just go after the Drampa here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Dealing way too much damage to the Drampa, 300 damage. We get another Float Stone and an end. Neither card which really helps us too much. So yeah, Tapu Lele is gonna get the prize here. We can't knock out Tapu Lele, that's for sure, but if we damage the Tapu Lele, maybe we can two-shot it, which would be pretty good. My opponent's not getting like that super strong start or a super strong draw. He doesn't seem to run Shaymin. So we still should have a good shot here. My opponent will be going down to 2 prizes very soon, and knocking out a Raichu is not difficult. Yep. Wow, he is well played. He says well played, so he's gonna take 2 prizes off of the Shaymin. And then he's going to knock out the Lycanroc. We cannot knock out the Tapu Lele. But yeah, we can't win here anymore. Unless I attack with my own Tapu Lele. And even then he still has a good shot at knocking us out afterwards, because he would deal 110 plus 2 abilities, that would be 150, plus a potential a third ability, that would be 170 exactly. So otherwise he keeps saying well played. Like, yes, I know you're probably already beat me, but let me try to do something here. He might have Lysander, he might have... I don't know. Gonna Shaymin. We're looking for a DCE. No DCs just yet. So Rescue Stretcher, I'm gonna shuffle 3 Pokemon back in. The Lycanroc and the Rockruff. And then I'm just going to Sycamore here. We do get the DCE, we do get another Rockruff. We never saw a single Raichu though. So my opponent has another energy, he wins. If he has another Decidueye, he wins. But if he doesn't knock out Tapu Lele, we win. He can have Lysander, he can have many things. There's a Float Stone. That doesn't help him. And how many energy does he have? He keeps saying well played, just freaking attack, man. Okay, there's the DC. Why would you play the Float Stone if you have the DCE? I don't know, just wasting time, but anyways. Let's find our next game. I mean, the Decidueye is never a good matchup, and then with the hands we drew, it's it's pretty much impossible to win. We did need my opponent to have like a few cards, to whiff on a few cards. He had them already, so there was no chance right there. But we had to try, you know, we definitely had to try. I would like to go first, thank you very much. And oh my gosh. We run. Anyways. These hands are just amazing to look at. I'm going to use Ultra Ball, discard the Via Seeker and the Special Charge, and I'm going to find a Rockruff. And I should have checked for the Bridget, which I'm hoping is in there. Yes, it is. Okay. I will bridge it for 2 Pikachus only, so that I have space for Shaymin. I'm gonna Shaymin for 6, which is pretty cool, and hopefully we get an okay hand off of this. We get a Field Blower, we get some strong energy, we do get a Skyfield, which is nice, and I'm not gonna play just yet. And I'm gonna pass here. I don't want to retreat into the Rockruff because there is a chance my opponent could knock it out. Tapu Lele can take the hit. Now off of this end, it seems very unlikely that my opponent will be able to do any significant damage to my Tapu Lele, which is even better. And we get an okay hand off of the end, and we actually have a knockout on pretty much any Pokemon my opponent decides to use. His bench will definitely be full. Plays an Ultra Ball for either a Volcanion EX or Hoopa, but we're not seeing too much Hoopa anymore. Okay, only 2 benched Pokemon does mean that I can't just bring up something and knock it out, because I'll only be dealing 120 damage, but I do have a knockout on the Volcanion, and that's pretty cool. I would not like to use the ability just now, because I do have the knockout on the active. I'm dealing 130 damage. I will, however, play Skyfield and bench all 3 guys here, limiting my opponent's bench to 4, even though there is Skyfield. And then I Sycamore here. Okay, so pretty good handoff of Sycamore. And I will use Claw Slash for the knockout. Next turn, we have yet to see a Pikachu in either match. We don't have Choice Band, and we don't have Professor Kukui, so I actually cannot knock out either Turtonator or Volcanion EX. I do have Lycanroc-GX to bypass my opponent's Shell Trap. Yep. I would love to have a choice band though, so just so that I could knock that guy out. I do get a DCE. The question is, do I dig for the choice band? Do I Sycamore away all these resources? I think I do. I do think it's worth it. I'm gonna discard the DCE and the Lycanroc. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna grab a Raichu. So yeah, 8 bench Pokemon, that's 160. Plus, plus 30 from the choice band should be enough to deal 190 damage, and I will survive with 10 HP if I find the choice band. And I do. I actually do find the choice band, which is pretty cool. So pretty dominating by the deck. Quite the opposite from the previous game. We do get the Circle Circuit for 190 damage. I could have avoided the damage by using Lycanroc's ability onto the Volcanion EX, but okay, I'm gonna discard the non-Float Stone Tapu Lele, I'm gonna discard the Shaymin, and I think I'm gonna discard the Sudowoodo, because limiting my opponent's bench doesn't really do much for me. If he benches a lot of stuff, we have Lycanroc-GX's attack, Lycanroc-GX's GX attack in order to get a knockout. My opponent has no way to attach energy. We even have a Skyfield, so I could even just get a knockout once again. I have I have access to 2 basic Pokemon with Rescue Stretcher and Shaymin, and maybe with Shaymin I can draw into another Pokemon. We'll see, but there's definitely ways I can do this. My opponent might try to end me here, but without having any energy in play, I don't think Jessica has a chance here. Okay, we see Tapu Lele for Skyla. Very interesting to see that. Tapu Lele for Skyla. We see even a Steam Up. We see via Seeker for N, so that's Skyla not really helping out my opponent. Maybe needs a Float Stone, a Baby Volcanion, and a Fire Energy to knock me out. If he does that, I can still respond with my own Lycanroc. And we do see my opponent getting the escape rope, whiffing the max elixir though, which is unfortunate. And we see another max elixir get played, another whiff, which is very bad for my opponent, really bad. And we see 3 benched Pokemon. That means I cannot get a knockout. Yeah, this might actually not be great for us. I don't want to end my opponent, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna save the Ultra Ball for a potential Shaymin next turn. And getting a knockout here is actually okay, because we only need to get 1 more EX or GX. We get a strong energy off of our prize cards, and my opponent immediately promotes Volcanion EX, so he needs 2 fire energy to knock me out. 1 for Steam Up and 1 to attach, and there's a victory. So pretty different scenario from what we saw in the previous game. Pretty different scenario. Let's play another match so that we can really showcase more about the deck. We are up against a water type deck, which does have an advantage against us. So Samuso09 must be a really good player, and we get a pretty okay start, especially if we can find Bridget. I might even want to start Oranguru simply to save my Pikachu, but no, maybe not. I will bench the Oranguru, however. I will definitely bench the Oranguru, not the Tapu Lele. And we are up against Greninja. Okay, so this actually could be a really difficult match. Greninja, it's a very interesting deck. It's really good, but then it can be very inconsistent too in setting up and everything. Choice Band and Field Blower are two cards that are obviously really good for Greninja, and wow. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. If I'm able to... wow. If I'm able to get a DCE and Float Stone here, I win. Which is pretty bad for my opponent. Okay. I'm going to first Shaymin for 4 cards. We're looking for DC and Float Stone. We had 4 cards, none of those are what we need. Doesn't really matter here. I'm gonna Shaymin for 2 more cards, and then I'm gonna Tapu Lele for Sycamore, I was gonna say. Now I'll just grab any supporter, I guess. Bridget. Yeah, maybe Teammates, so that I have access to it via Seeker. And I'm just going to Sycamore here. We need to hit one of our 3 Float Stones and one of our 4 DCEs. We actually do hit the DCE, but we do not hit the Float Stone. So the question is, do I dig 2 more cards, or do I... yeah, I think I do. Why not? Try to get that turn 1 win. 2 more cards and no Float Stone. We can, however, still dig for another Shaymin here. I'm not gonna get rid of the Raichu though. Well, I could actually... oh no. Oh, the other Shaymin is priced. Whoopsies. Whoopsies. There was only one... there was one Float Stone priced. So it was... I guess I'll grab the Rockruff here. And I will pass. So no Float Stone for the turn 1 knockout. I did have the Tapu Lele in my hand, but I didn't choose to start with it. Maybe that's my mistake. My opponent top decks a level ball, immediately grabs another Froakie. That means he does have the Frogadier, in his hand. And we are going to see that duplicate, so we have game here. We actually have game. See an attachment on the Froakie, and we see a Sycamore. I don't think I agree with that play, especially having the Greninja in your hand. My opponent could have drawn a couple of Frogadiers here. I mean, 1 or 2. And thus making the water duplicates just a little bit less effective. We only see 2 Frogadiers and no splash energy is really good for us. I do get to use Oranguru's Instruct. So we were 2 cards away from the Float Stone knockout. Turn 1 win. And we get another Float Stone off of our prize cards to make this even more ironic. Now we can KO Greninja next turn. We can't, however, KO Greninja breaks because we're missing Professor Kukui. We do see double Greninja, so the Greninja break is imminent over the next turn. We do see a Choice Band, we see a Dive Ball. I should start preparing the GX attack from Lycanroc, and attaching 3 strong energy to Lycanroc would actually be ideal in order to get knockouts there. Everyone wastes a Dive Ball, and he's gonna try to bubble me, and he flips tails. Okay, so that's pretty good. I do get to knock out a Greninja here, which I'm really happy to do so. I will use the ability, I guess, on the Choice Band Greninja. That makes the most sense. I will attach this, I will play this here, and I will use Oranguru's Instruct once again, which is pretty awesome. And I do find a VS Seeker. Now, I really... I think I do want to conserve the VS Seeker. My opponent needs a few resources to... Like, he needs 2 water energy to knock me out. I think I'd rather have a better hand, simply because I keep the VS Seeker. Wow, this is not a better hand. But I have a knockout on the Greninja break with my Lycanroc as well. So yeah, we're just gonna circle circuit for another knockout. There it is at DCE, that's great. So that we can have the Lycanroc-GX follow-up for the knockout. Either on a regular Greninja or even on the break with the GX attack. My opponent does have 3 bench Pokemon, that's 150 damage. There's the break. And we do have the strong energy, so we're dealing 170 damage exactly. If he misses the bubble flip, which doesn't seem like he's going to try to do, yeah, we are good here. Lycanroc-GX just takes care of this. Unless we get end here, no. We see a Sycamore. No bubble flip here is great though. No bubble flip here is definitely great for us. Because, I mean, sure, he can maybe knock out my Raichu. Right here, he will use Giant Water Shuriken. He could also knock out a Pikachu on the bench. Wow, that's actually what he decides to do. That is actually what my opponent decides to do. And, I mean, sure, we knock out. He gets to keep all the cards because of the splash energy. He's probably going to want to Shadow Stitch here. Wow, is that the 4th Choice Band? Yeah, that's 4 Choice Bands. Wow, that's pretty impressive. 4 Choice Bands Greninja. Where do you even find the space for that? And yes, he will take a knockout with Shadow Stitching. We will take a knockout back, and there's no threat of Greninja break, so Lycanroc can actually take 2 knockouts here. And Raichu will also be safe. Guaranteed to be safe. Dangerous GX is the attack we want to use. 170 damage exactly. We get another prize card, which is a Lycanroc, which is pretty good. Nothing can hide from Lycanroc here. Sure, he can deal a lot of damage to my Lycanroc-GX, but we are still fine here. Evolves the bench Greninja, evolves the active as well, okay. I was gonna say that might have been a mistake. We could see an N or an Ace Trainer here. No, we actually see a Delinquent. Wow. Delinquent's actually not great for us. At least we have the Sycamore. I'm gonna discard the 3 Shaymins. So we don't have a knockout with Raichu anymore, but I do have a knockout with Lycanroc on whatever I want. He might even want to retreat to the Frogadier. I would not be surprised by that. Or he might just want to 2-hit KO my Lycanroc, and that's what he chooses to do, which makes sense. Definitely makes sense. We top deck a strong, which makes me really happy to see. I will evolve this guy. I will knock out the Greninja with energy because I'm getting rid of a resource for my opponent. I will use Sycamore here, and I don't find another Skyfield, which worries me a little. There might be some priced. I can, however, use the Rescue Stretcher to shuffle 3 Pokemon back in, and I can shuffle 2 of the Shaymin and the Rockruff. The Rockruff? Yeah, the Rockruff. And we just take the knockout here, thanks to the strong energy. We are down to 2 prize cards. Lycanroc-GX is going down for sure. We do get a Sky Field, so we can potentially, and I apologize, I apologize for the baby crying. my new living situation can be a bit weird at times, but it's for the better. And we have one basic Pokemon and we have the Sky Field. We need we need 3 more basic Pokemon, which we could get with Bridget. Well, actually we need 4 basic Pokemon. Wow. See, the thing is, we cannot and Ace Trainer. Wow, but my opponent doesn't have energy just yet. How many energy are there? 4 and 1 splash. Yeah, he will get energy here. But he has to use Moonlight Slash. So, if we find a DCE, we can knock out the benched Greninja with Lycanroc. This DCE on Tapu Lele is actually a very badly wasted DCE. Okay, so we return these 2 guys. And then, can I actually get a knockout here? Can I actually get a knockout? I can if I draw the right cards. Put a Pokemon from your discard pile. Yeah. I'm gonna grab the Shaymin. I need 1 DCE. Okay? I need 1 DCE. So I'm gonna Lysander up the Greninja, because that's the plan. I need 1 DC. Okay, first I'm gonna use Instruct, and I got a Strong. That doesn't help us, so I'm gonna use 1 Shaymin for 4 cards. We know we have a lot of DCs in the deck. There's the DCE. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. And then I'm going to use another Shaymin. And we get N. Okay, we get N and a ton of energy. So the other option we do have... No, we actually don't have an option here. We absolutely 100% need to knock out this Greninja break. Or we could maybe have him with the energy for Giant Water Shuriken. He goes after Shaymin-EX. Does he have VS Seeker for Lysander for the game? Oh, he's going to attach energy for Moonlight Flash. Well, that doesn't change anything. Okay, so unless we top deck... yeah, not that card. I can retreat, attach DCE to Shaymin, and end my opponent. And I think that's my best play here. So I'm gonna pay with a DCE. The 30 damage could actually mean a lot of things. And I'm gonna play the Choice Band just so that I don't draw the Choice Band, and I'm going to end my opponent. Oh! I misclicked. Yes, I don't mind getting less cards. Thank you, Pokemon, but I really don't mind. I need to deny my opponent. Okay, he could get VS Seeker, he could get energy. He says well played. So that means he got VS Seeker for Lysander per game. That definitely means he got VS Seeker for Lysander for game. He just VS Seekers Lysander and knocks out either Shaymin or Lycanroc-GX. 3 cards in hand. There's a VS Seeker. Oh well, we tried, guys. We tried. Like that last turn, we really missed. I can't believe my opponent played Delinquent, but we really needed the other Sky Field, and we never got it. Field Blower would have been nice to remove the Choice Band, but we discarded it early on. We were a few cards off of winning turn 1, and then we ended up losing the match. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you can. I apologize for the baby interruption right in the middle of the game. but that's better than continuous traffic sounds, I guess. Not exactly sure. Thank you guys for your support. We are very close to 9,000 subscribers. It would be amazing to reach it before the NA Intercontinentals. So yeah, tune in to Twitch TV/Tablemon later today in order to watch the conquest match in preparation for NA Internationals against Mike Fouché, another Worlds qualified player. Thank you guys, and I'll see you tonight. Bye bye.